Hello, CherieHanson here. I've just come off of watching the new season of Queer Eye, and there's always something that happens inside me when I watch that show because the message that keeps coming through, client after client, is of people who are imprisoned, who are stuck, who are lashed down to their past. They're in a place where they are not dreaming or hoping or wishing or pushing forward, forward through the hardened surface of the earth to blossom. And what happens is these experts come in, and the thing that they provide is love, affection, support, positive feedback, so that the person can reformulate their concept of themselves. And I'll tell you, it's just tears falling. And not just for the person who's featured in the makeover, but also for the people who come in, the Fab Five, and they are able to show their love to the client or the person who is chosen. And that's something I've noticed so much this Christmas. I have noticed how when I take a risk and show love to people, maybe it's a stranger, maybe it's somebody I've seen randomly, and I've felt this thing about them, which I have not dared to say or express. And what I see happening is we're all walking around with a massive, powerful, healing energy of love, which we could give to another person. But we're afraid. We're afraid of it. We are afraid of our capacity to love. We censor the words of joy we want to send to someone else. And I was thinking a bit about Bill Murray and people like him who are not afraid to go full-hearted. Robin Williams, same thing. Come at a person full-hearted. I don't know you, but I love you. I don't know you, but there's something about you that has caused my heart to open, has caused me to be like a candle that is now lit. And this is what has been holding all of us back for so long. We're just trying so hard to not be criticized. We're trying so hard to not make the wrong move. We try so hard to not let our hearts show. And I remember something that happened in high school. There were a bunch of people that were sitting around, and in the 60s, the idea was to be cool. And they were sitting in a group, and they were talking about people who were cool, who had that kind of encapsulated, controlled coldness that was like an armor. And one of the people who was in the circle said to me, "You've never been cool." And I'm like, What? He says, no, you've never been cool. You're just right up front. You're right up here. You're not back here being cool. And the other people in the group were all going, yeah, yeah. And it took me decades before I realized what a wonderful gift that was. To not be cool and to also be in a place where I'm not trying to fit in. I'm just myself and get over it. There you go. So I was watching Queer Eye and I came back to something I used to think about very often. When I was going through therapy, when I was in the place of shifting my concept of self, my concept of self was protect, 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 stay small, find somebody and do what they tell you to do. And then, of course, I've also got the Joan of Arc flaming rebel. So I had two aspects to myself all the time. And I thought about the hermit crab. As I was journaling one day, I said, you're a fucking hermit crab. You stay in a space that you feel is safe. Stay in university for 9 years to be an academic. Stay in marriage for 16 or 18 years. That's not satisfying. Stay in the same house for 30 years. And the hermit crab only moves out of the cripplingly small shell that he first went into before he grew when he is uncomfortable and it's crushing him. So I thought, that's kind of the way I've been. I've been trying to find protection, trying to find a shell, trying to, not let my ferocious lion Leo spirit show, except when I'm on stage, except when I'm dancing, except when I'm reciting poetry, except when I am acting. But that's a safe place because I'm on a stage and nobody's going to come up on the stage and get me. It would just be not right. So, in what ways do the people who live on the earth right now live like hermit crabs? This shell is my culture. This shell is my habits. Yes, we all drink. I drink. You drink. Yes, we all spend too much money. Yes, we have self-sabotaging eating habits. Yes, yes, yes. And so we stay in this shell until it is crushing us before we get to a place where we go, this doesn't fit me anymore. This is not comfortable. This is not where I want to be. And so we have to ask the question as we head into 2025. And it's a deep question. Why do I deny myself the joy that could come in my life from showing love to other people, from allowing myself to be who I am? And we have to come there. We have to come to a place where we know what our soul yearns for. We know what our heart yearns for. And we get to that plateau. We get to that rock on the side of the mountain. And then from that vantage point, we can go higher, because now we're going to get to a place where we are envisioning, imagining, sending ourselves forward into a new reality, a quite exquisite pink coated giant shell, a castle, a beautiful structure of a life that we are moving into, not for protection, not because we fear other people, ourselves, the world, death, damage, but because we want to be expansive and joyful and creative and a little bit quirky. Just a little bit quirky. You see somebody and you're standing in line. Today I was standing in line at the drugstore, and there was a woman who was behind me. And as always, I liked her energy. So I talked to her about, I hope I didn't budge in front of you. I mean, all of my ancestors would climb out of their graves if they knew that I was cutting in line, and that if I was that arrogant, I would burn in the flames of hell forever. And at that point, the man in front of me in line, who was catatonically absent, the pharmacists and the woman were all laughing. They had all had their wicks lit. They were all coming into being fully alive. And so we all talked, we all enjoyed one another, and we all were in a place where nobody was trying to seem cool. There wasn't one of us that was cool. We were all just enjoying one another and the conversation and playing around with humor. And so that happens more and more in my life. The more I let my playful, loving, childlike spirit come out, the greater joy I experience wherever I am, standing in line, walking down a street, sitting in a coffee shop. Other people are just waiting for you to show up. Like the 5 guys in the Queer Eye. They're at the door and they're going, "You have beautiful eyes. You're not wearing the right color. You need a different kind of clothing. Oh, let me create an environment in your house that improves your quality of life." And that energy comes from us. It's up to us to light up other people when we light up ourselves. That's just what happens. You're not being intrusive. You're just standing there making jokes and playing with words, and people start to shine. And this is the greatest gift that we can give to other people. Ourselves. Our authentic, full, 3-5-dimensional selves. And just get out there and stop crouching down and squishing into the tiniest shell you can find and trying to simulate a human being instead of expanding and glowing and having a good time for no reason. No alcohol, no double rich fudge, no music, just other people because they are the inspiration for your own joy. I just want to thank you. I'm getting more subscribers. Every time you subscribe to my video, you put a thumbs up, you make a comment, you are broadcasting out to the world the messages that I have learned and am teaching about how to feel really beautiful in your own life, really happy, really content, not enslaved and tortured and, worried about what other people think. I would say just take off your clothes and dance naked in the rain, but I don't think that that's a good idea. I think that's a step too far. But do take some time to meet the people you're standing in line with. Admire somebody's eyes, the scarf they're wearing, their child, their cute dog. Get out there, open your heart, and help light the world up. And again, I really, really, really appreciate you, every single person that has put a comment. If you want a life coaching session, if you want a psychic reading, if you want to have a card reading, get a hold of me. I work remotely. I can be way remote and it still works. Okay, thank you.